Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
I'm so happy to announce another great theater here in South Florida. We've been doing a lot of theater presentations because I always say, get away from your TV, go to live theater. We have so many good actors here in South Florida, and this particular theater, which is so funny, the name that is the producer of this performance, it's called Pigs Do Fly Productions, and I have on that line Ellen Wacher, who's the founder of Pigs Do Fly Productions. So, Ellen, tell me, I know everyone asked you, where did you get that name?
Okay, I'm going to tell you. And I'm the executive producer. I'll tell you where I got the name. It was out of anger. I'm an actor, too, and as you age out in acting, or did for a long time, till some of us started fighting back a little bit. And so I was auditioning for a role, woman of a certain age, who works out of it, goody, 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 that had my name on it. And what happened was they wouldn't let me audition for a commercial because I didn't look like I'm supposed to look. I got so angry. I just got so angry. Well, that's enough. I'm not doing this. And my girlfriend had just sent me something, maybe pigs are beginning to fly. That's it, pigs do fly.
Oh, it's a great name because nobody will forget that.
It's making a statement. And when we open tomorrow night, and I have opening night jitters, oh, my God.
Oh,
Even though I'm not acting in it. Pigs Do Fly is a company that stands for people over 50, which are 100 million in the United States, doing interesting things with their lives, living active, interesting lives.
Okay, so now you have this play called Two Across by Jerry Mayer. It's a romantic comedy, and it's at Empire Stage in Fort Lauderdale. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
I want to know what Two Across is all about.
I'm not allowed to tell you.
You're not allowed to tell me.
No,
people
the director,
have to go.
If I tell you what it's all about,
they won't come.
It unravels in the thing. It's romantic. It's the two people on board a BART train at 4:30 in the morning, and their paths will cross. So I'm not allowed to tell you anything else that will give away the whole thing.
That's okay. You don't have to. What I'd like to know, though, is tell us a little bit about Jerry Mayer.
Okay, funny you should ask. Let me get out the paper over here.
You know, I've asked this before. People say, "Oh, it's my husband," or "It's my brother," or something. But that's not. You're going to tell me that, right?
Okay. He is. I was just reading his bio. He's a very well-known and accomplished writer. Let me get this here. I have it all ready to go.
Is this his first play?
He's written comedies.
Ah.
He's done theater. He's been around for a long time. And let me I had his bio. I'm sorry. Right?
That's okay. Is he a South Florida?
Very handy.
Is he South Floridian?
Okay. Oh, God.
That's okay. Let's just not do that. Let's keep going, though. You don't have to have that. What I want to know, though, is let's talk a little bit about you. You did say, though, that you've been in the acting profession and you are a producer. And tell me some of the things you've done.
Okay. I've been acting on the side. I've been acting on the side for many years because eating is a way of life. I was never to starve. I retired as a lobbyist. Nothing to do with acting, and always an activist. And then I did commercials. I did some little tiny parts. It was always on the side, you know what I mean, in between, etc. And then when I entered into theater, I did a number of shows. I did a number of theatrical shows in a lot in Broward County, in Broward and Palm Beach County, actually, where they had the Willow Theater. I've done a number of plays there. So I was very active. I became active in the community. I had no thought whatsoever to being a producer. The thought never even crossed my mind until I got angry 6 years ago. I got very angry, and that's what started it. So I did acting, every commercial I could get, every small part in television shows, not really. I had a tiny part in movies, a number of commercials, and then it switched over to a lot of different stage work.
Tell me what a producer does. Tell me what you do as a producer compared to as an actor. I see so many names producer, but what does it take?
I fund this myself. So you aggravate yourself. Aggravation comes with it. I fund this myself. It's self-funded. Just now, there doesn't seem to be an opening for a minute little production company, a tiny little theater. So just now, I've just put in for a grant from the Broward County, and we'll see what happens. Because of what I'm saying, it's for older people, it's for people over 50, it's for senior citizens, if that's what you want to call it. I'm going to see. What a producer does is fund the whole thing. The executive producer is in charge of everything. You have to okay everything. Then you hire a general manager, which I can't live without, and my PR woman, which is Carol Cassie, you can't live without. And the three of us kind of run the show. But I have to come up with the money.
I see.
That producer comes up with the money.
So you're the one that has to really think, is it worth it? You're the one that has to really say, this is a great show.
Yes. Yes, I do. And sometimes you're wrong. What I might like, we had a show a couple of years ago, I thought it was great, and the audience didn't like it. But it still goes with the mission. I set the mission. I will not vary from that mission at all. And so I have to make the final decision on which plays are selected, and I hire the director. The director must pick the cast. That's what I learned in my 6 years here. The director picks the cast because she's got to be comfortable with him, he or she.
I see. Yes, of course. That's true. Because you make it or break it. I mean, with, who the cast is. And so tell me about the Empire Theater, because I actually have never been there. I've been to a lot of theater. Where is that?
Come.
Right.
We open tomorrow. I said all the concomitant nerves. The Empire Stage is a 50-seat theater in Fort Lauderdale, just north of Sunrise. And he's been there for a long time and has some different names. And then people rent out his theater. They rent it out. He does some of his own shows, and he rents out the rest. They've had all different kinds of shows there. And for some reason, it's in a tiny little warehouse district just north of Sunrise, which is the main drag in Fort Lauderdale. It takes you to,
Parker Playhouse and everything.
Yes.
Right.
It's, people like it.
I have to tell you something.
Excuse me.
I love 50 seats. I love small theater. It's like you're right on the stage with them.
You know what? That's so funny. When I first learned acting in Miami, was when I did a lot of acting on the stage, the first theater I worked in, the Theater 24, had 24 seats. And you had to literally walk over the audience, feet as you performed on stage.
Yeah.
And that was cool. That was great. You're right. I like small theater, too. You feel like you're a part of it.
Exactly. And let me just say that I think the actors like it because the audience is right there and right in their faces.
I completely agree. We have to put up the fourth wall. You know what I mean? Like tomorrow night, part of my speech with my welcome speech is always, don't forget to turn off your cell phone. I mean, it's so pathetic now. I'm going to tell them. I was at the Arts Center, talk about huge theater on Saturday. Now, this is the first time before they start the show, they're doing this whole thing on singing, dancing, and showing a video and turning off your cell phone.
Yep, I was at the Kravis last night, and they do a whole thing. I thought it was part of the performance. It wasn't. They just did this whole thing about...
Me too.
Yeah, it's very cute because it really gets your attention. And the people sitting next to me, they turned it off, but they didn't turn the whole cell off. They just turned the sound, and they kept looking at the light.
God.
I felt I wanted to smack them, but I didn't say anything. It just was horrible. Yeah, people should leave it alone, for heaven's sakes. Enjoy the theater.
They can't.
Yeah. It's an obsession.
And that's what's so horrible. Listen, that's become, you know that pedestrian deaths are at an all-time high from distracted walking?
No kidding. Pedestrian deaths.
Pedestrian deaths in the country are at an all-time high because of distracted walking.
Wow. Well, that's it. You know, it sounds like there's a play here somehow. You ought to write. Have you ever written anything?
I wish I was a writer. I would do that in a minute.
Have you ever tried?
It just doesn't come. Talking comes.
Oh.
I make speeches. You know, being a lobbyist, you're always trying to convince people. I can make a speech at a drop of a hat to a lot of people and not even bat an eye.
Right.
But with the theater, they like small theater.
Yeah, I know they do.
It does make it harder for somebody like me to break even. And then Broward and Palm Beach have all these discount places, so it's hard to find out which is doing what to whom. But my goal is to have people like what they see, put out the word, and people want to come back.
Yes.
I mean, in the world of reviews and what's significant, if you look at the shows now that are being great reviews, and people say they're very heavy duty. They're very heavy duty. They have meanings. They have messages.
Yep.
My message is, I have my mission. I'm using people. Nobody under 50.
Good. I love that.
Oh, no, I'm hiring. Oh, no. Unless somebody out and out lies, which they haven't, as far as you have to be over 50 to be an actor.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, let me ask you a question about this Two Across. So I know you don't want to be able to talk about it yet, but it is going to run, I see, from March the 7th through the 24th. So I will definitely get there. There are a lot of theaters. There's a new one that just opened up in Boca Raton, and
that's
I think
Keith.
Yeah, right. And solo, and I went to that, and as a matter of fact, and I know you've been around for a while. When I was chairman of the board of Florida Repertory Theater up on Clematis many years ago, we had a theater there for 7 years, and then, unfortunately, after what happens to theaters, and it was abandoned and all, and then a new theater that's up there is Palm Beach Drama Works, and the reason I tell you that,
God, that's way up in the
but they started with 90 seats, and they did that for 10 years, and they were so good that they got a major sponsor who helped them get into this big theater, and they're doing very well.
Well, that's the whole thing. They got a major sponsor.
That's true.
Listen, there's a theater in Miami, the Miami Lakes Players. They were a community theater for many, many years. I auditioned for them for a couple of times years ago. They're right in downtown Miami Lakes. Now they switched to professional theater. They're getting reviewed now. Every one of their plays is heavy-duty plays. However, I've been to a couple. However, they are underwritten, and that makes a very big difference.
Yep.
Into what they can charge and everything.
Sure. But you got to start somewhere. And so how long have you been doing this with your Pigs Do Fly Productions?
Well, I'm going to say tomorrow night, I put it together in my first play was May of 2014.
Oh, so you're a newbie.
This is the 6th year.
Oh, 6th year. I'm sorry.
Suffering, pimples, and nerves.
Right. Yeah, but you know what? You love it. There must be a reason you do this, or you wouldn't. You have a passion for it, obviously.
I do because of the subject matter. Because of I feel very, very, very strongly. I have a friend of mine that works full-time, and she's phenomenal, but she knows, and my sister-in-law knows, that if the age got out, they'd be treated differently.
Right.
And that's terrible.
Well, you may not know this, but I'm a gerontologist, and so I've been doing this.
Oh, wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I have a degree in radio, television, and film, and when I decided to do something, I decided that I would produce a magazine, have the radio talk show, and for me, I wrote a book called Live to Be 100 Plus. So you've got the right person in me, because I absolutely agree.
I do have the right person.
You do.
So all you have to do is tell Carol or Like, you want to come this weekend? Do you want to wait till the next weekend?
Yeah, it'd have to be next weekend, but because I have a lot of shows that people are always inviting, but I would. So it's just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Do you do a matinee on Sunday?
At 5:00.
You do a 5:00 Sunday, and Saturday you do
Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 8.
Okay.
Well,
yes.
You want to come the following weekend?
Yeah,
That's the only day I'm not going to be there.
No, I want to be when you're there, so I'll come.
It's Friday, March 15th. I will not be there.
Okay, no, I can't come Friday anyway. So we'll make a date to do this, and I will come with a friend, and I would love to do this with you and meet you and see this. This sounds like perfect.
Well, like I said, the director gets really mad if you say too much about the thing, but it is a 90-minute. It's a 90-minute show.
Two people?
2 people.
That's what you said, 2 people.
The first time I've ever done a show with 2 people. And it takes place in a train. The 2 guys I have that were with me for the last show, their ability to do sound just blows me away. And the one that designed a set is excellent. So I haven't seen it either. I want to be surprised. I mean, I've seen the rehearsal, but I haven't seen it all put together.
Exactly.
So this is what it is. I'm sorry, I cannot find. Wait, I'm still looking for my stuff about Jerry Meyer, which I had. I do know that he's been participating. He's participating in so many different television shows.
Good.
And then he did some theater, and this ran on Broadway for a short time.
Ah, great. Well,
and so I think it's smooth, it's humorous, it's romantic. It's entertainment, and I think it's adorable. We're going to find out.
Yeah, well, that's good. You know, I have another friend, Marcy Gorman, who started her own production. You know, she used to be the owner of Weight Watchers. She's up at the Kravis, but in the small theater, and she only does summer productions.
Wow.
Yep. Some of these people ought to really put you in touch with a lot of them.
You're a gerontologist. That is so cool.
Right.
Oh, my God. I mean...
Well, I grew up in Miami Beach, too, so that was one of the reasons, because I saw all the elder people, and my family lived there, my grandmother,
My grandmother, too.
Well, my grandmother lived at the Blackstone Hotel for 25 years on Washington Avenue.
My grandma lived on 3rd and Ocean,
Right.
and she walked every single morning, and she wouldn't eat chemics. And she lived to 105.
No, your grandmother lived to be 105?
Yes.
See, my grandmother lived to be 95. I thought that was fabulous. Oh, my God, 105?
Yeah.
And how many husbands did she have?
3.
You know, my grandmother had 3.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that funny? What happened there that the men if a woman could cook, they got married, right?
Well, I tell you something. When my grandmother, she finally moved into not a nursing home, whatever they called it.
A convalescent
I'm not
home.
A big fan
It used to be a convalescent home, remember?
No, it was in my parents lived in Boca, so it was up there.
Okay.
And she said, I could have any man I wanted.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, I can't get a date. She can get any man. It's true.
Isn't that fabulous?
But she exercised, she slowed up, this is the truth, when she was 100.
Oh, my God.
And I'm telling you, as a gerontologist, you can appreciate this.
Yeah.
The people that do best do not move into institutions.
No, that's true. I agree with you. I agree. It's the Golden Girl syndrome. That's what.
Well, yes.
Yes,
I think it's the greatest.
Right. I know. That's what I said. I should invent something like a whole company that buys homes and matches people up to live that way.
Yes, and yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
I know.
The Golden Girls is still doing phenomenally.
I know it. I love to watch that show. My God, my mother lived to be 94, and I remember we used to watch it all the time, and I loved it.
It's still doing well, and the funny part of it is, well, it's sad in its way. The oldest one is the only one still alive.
I know. Isn't she something? I know. It's amazing.
The only one still alive.
Right.
Wow. So you can let me or Gail or Carol Cassie, she's our PR woman, know if you want to come.
Yeah, I will. I'll get in touch with her.
How far up in Palm Beach County do you live?
I live in Boynton Beach, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's where my parents live.
Oh, really?
Oh, God.
So we'll have to get together. Yeah, this will be great. I'm so glad that we got to talk. Of course, everyone's listening to us, and they're all laughing because
Oh, they're listening? Oh, my God.
we're on the radio, This is a radio show. That's what we're doing.
I forgot.
I know you did. I've done this for 30 years. I've had this radio show every Saturday morning from 5 to 8 a.m. For 30 years.
That is so funny, and I completely forgot.
I know, but that's what my shows are like, very conversational. And the most important thing is we want to promote your show. And this is Ellen Wacher, who is the founder of Pigs Do Fly Productions. And if you want to go to her website, it's pigsdoflyproductions.com.
And you can buy tickets right there.
Oh, good. And she is now presenting Two Across by Jerry Mayer, who is it's a romantic comedy, and it's at Empire Stage in Fort Lauderdale, starting in March the 7th through the 24th. And if you want to buy tickets, go to pigsdoflyproductions.com, or you can call, get your pencils out. Remember, this is Pencil Talk Radio. It's 811-4111. Again, that's 866-811-4111. Now, I'm thinking about this. So I am supposed to go to see someone on Saturday, and I ought to really see if this couple would even go. I don't know. I'm going to work on it. But I'm very excited that you're doing this, and I admire you. To be a producer is not easy. It costs money, and you have to get sponsors, and it sounds like you could do that, though.
Well, I haven't done the sponsor bit. Some people, I have friends that they wrote me a little check, but I haven't really tried to get sponsors. It's very hard, and you don't. It's a really a closed situation unless you happen to know people that are looking to get tax write-offs, and I really haven't done that. But like I said, for the first time, I've gone to the county of Broward to see what I could get, but I haven't gotten sponsors. I didn't. I just doing my thing. I have to think about it. And nobody's come along and saying, would we like to? Of course, I'd be open at any rate. But it's enjoyable, and people that have come have really enjoyed the shows. It's open seating, so the
Right.
house opens at 7:30, and I try to make sure that the curtain goes on at 8. I don't like to punish the schlemiels that get there on time.
Okay, so now tell us a little bit about the actors. Can you do that?
Yes, both actors are equity. David Gordon lives in New York as well as down here, and Barbara Sloan is a local actress, and they're both very active in their fields for sure.
And so of course they're very talented. Did they know each other before?
No, they did. Here's with the directors. With Deborah Kondelik, who was one of the stars of my last show. It turns out she's been a long-time director, and she prefers directing to acting. She did great in the Ladies Foursome, and the Ladies Foursome ran for 2 separate times because it was so popular. And so she did it herself. She picked the people herself totally, and she put in an ad. She put in an ad in wherever it was, and people called and they asked for appointments, and she whittled it down and then made her selection. I had nothing to do with it because I've learned in my short time the director must be comfortable with who they pick. And
yes. Mm-hmm.
You have nothing to do. I had nothing to do. I got to see the callbacks and everything, but she has to pick, and these people never met each other before. And I think people will be very happy with what they see.
And so you've seen the synergy of what's going on.
Yes.
You know that, right? That's great.
Yes, I have.
So hopefully it's going to be so well received, you're going to have to hold it over.
Oh, God, I hope you're right.
Well, I admire you.
I haven't even gotten that far.
I know.
I got the nerves the day before. I always get
the
pimples and the stomachache.
Of course. But it's lovely that you're doing something that you absolutely love. So opening night is Friday night?
Yes. Tomorrow is like a soft opening. It's like a preview.
Mm-hmm.
Opening is Friday night, and we will have some press there Friday night, and then Sunday. and then it's just people getting tickets.
Well, I guess the condo circuit is the thing. You have to get into the condos and let everybody.
That's up to my PR woman. What I did yesterday.
She's very good, actually. Carol is very good. I'm glad you're using her.
That's up to her to get into the condos. What I did do here in Broward, I have a friend that lives in condos, and he got a hunk of the postcards from me yesterday, and he's giving it out. He and his wife have been to every single show, and they're very supportive. So I got everything out to him. And I'm comfortable doing things this way. I want people to want to be there.
Right.
The other thing we've done is leaflet the whole area.
Mm-hmm.
We're just a tiny little company. So, I don't know what the other people do. This is what I've done. And now we'll see. So I hope you like it. It's comfortable.
Well, I'll tell you what we can do to help you. We can do an e-blast to our 4,000 people. And I will mention that to our administrator to get an e-blast out for you.
That would be fabulous.
Yeah, we'll do
because
that.
Coming from where you are, I mean, it's really from Hollywood up there without the traffic. It's what, a half hour or something?
Yeah, well, people travel. If they do something else and they go down there. But so now, give me an address for Empire, or at least give me an idea where it is.
Okay, let me.
Because we're about out of time, and I just wanted to get this. So Empire Stage is 1140 North Flagler Drive. Okay.
Fort Lauderdale, 33304.
Good. Well, people can do Siri. So it's 1140 North Flagler Drive, 33304. And that's, you said it's Hollywood?
It's Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, it's Fort Lauderdale. Okay, good. Okay. Well, it's been wonderful talking to you, really. And
wonderful talking.
And I'll be in touch. I really will. Thank you so much,
Ellen.
Ellen.
And I look forward to meeting you.
Yes, I do also, Ellen.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks. All right, bye.